Alright, this video is about um, different firearms that I recommend on carrying. Everybody has their preference on what you carry, especially if you're in the law enforcement, security, or if you're the everyday Joe Blow, that's your average citizen. Now today there's been more permits to carry issued to, lots and lots of people today because of the way things are going. But I really recommend on getting trained how to handle your firearm. You got to, shoot your firearm, practice. You have to be well trained. I don't think it should be that easy to go in at 21 years old and pick up one of these semi-automatics, 14, 16 shot clips and have no training whatsoever, or even never even handled a firearm in their life. So all these are unloaded. Of course, the magazines are not. So I just want you to make sure that I always unload my firearms. I 3 or 4 times check. I rack the slides and always make sure they're unloaded when I'm either producing a video or not even, unless I'm carrying or something. Of course, mine's loaded. But my favorite Glock is my Glock 48. Okay, I do love a Glock 26. The 26 is fantastic, but I've gotten to liking my Glock 48. I have quite a few Glocks, and I think the Glock 48 is an unbelievable pistol. It's thinner than the Glock 26, of course. It's lightweight, etc. But now with this video, what I'm trying to make is I want to show you what I recommend on what to carry and what not to carry, and what kind of ammunition to use for an average citizen these days. You don't need anything like 50 caliber, hollow points, 50 caliber, 30 caliber to sit there and go whack off 100 people. You know what I'm saying? The chances of you pulling out your firearm as an average citizen is going to be zilch to zilch. I mean, it's practically going to be zilch to 0.111%. So there's only not too many people that pull their firearms out as an average citizen. Now again, at 21 years old, if you're that young and you go out and get your license to carry, you're going to think you're big and bad. You're going to go out and buy the biggest gun and the baddest gun and the high capacity magazine, which this is 16 rounds, I think, and I'm pretty sure it's 16. And instead of getting a 5 or 6 shot, revolver, or 11 shot Glock 48, and this is a 45 caliber. So this is a car, okay, and this is a 45. All right, this is a Feg, Hungarian Feg, which is in beautiful shape, and that is a 9mm. And of course, this is a Charter Arms, which is in really good shape, and that is a 38 Special, and the Glock 48, of course, is 9mm. So this is just a few of my firearms out to give you some advice. People follow it. I don't, it's up to you, whatever you feel comfortable with. All right, so if you're big and bad at 21 and you feel that you need a big weapon, something, 16 rounds, well, I hate to tell you, within a couple months or so, you're going to get tired of carrying it. It's just too big for you. It sticks out on the side of your, of your hip here, and, you got your, your holster here, and it's going to be a big bulge on the side. So they're going to say, oh, what are you, happy to see me on your side? We must have something sticking out. But no, you need something that's going to conceal, reliable, and lightweight. I will say the key word again, lightweight. None of this heavy stuff. Now, when I was carrying a lot in the 80s and 90s, I would, use bigger guns. I would use revolvers, which are a little wide. Doesn't have, 5 or 6 rounds in it on some of these revolvers, but you're still having to wait. Now, a revolver is like 110% dependable. A lot of people carry revolvers, and you can't beat them, especially snub nose here. But you're still getting the all steel or the aluminum alloy, which they make a lot today with the aluminum alloys. They're very light, but you're still having a little bit of weight, and you're still having the thickness. You're still having that thickness there, so you still have that bulge on your side. So if you want to carry a 45, you could get a smaller one than this on a 45. Like I said, this is a car. Some of them are cut right here, you know, with 6-7 shots. And that's lightweight. You got the polymers, a dependable car. Cars are fantastic, but you have to break them in, and you have to polish the ramp, the feed ramp inside. And if you don't polish it, tinker it a little bit, it won't be as dependable that you think it is. Sometimes they jam. All right, but as you can see, there's the 45 compared to a 9mm. So if you technically you really need to use it and you need to carry it, somebody gets knocked with a 45, they're not getting up. So this thing here, this was made in the 80s. This is a Hungarian, or early 90s maybe. But this is heavy. This is an all steel firearm, semi-automatic, and holds, I think, 15-16 rounds, and you're still getting that heavyweight material. This is good for your house, good for your bedroom, good for a car or truck, and you got a lot of firepower here, and it's 100% dependable. I have never had a FEG. It's kind of mixed between a Smith & Wesson and a Browning, of course. A lot of people think it's a Browning clone, but it has some Smith & Wesson right here on the back part. But they are unbelievable dependable. They don't come in good shape like this. A lot of them are pretty worn because Europe and a lot of other countries use them for their military and police. But this is not your everyday carry. You'd be, after a few days, your hip would be on the ground. Best thing to do is get maybe a Glock. I mean, you know, the weight of it is nice. You want to get a thin Glock 23 or 26, I mean. Well, 26 is a little thicker, like I said. Not as long as the grip, but you're getting 13 rounds. But again, with 13 rounds of 9mm, you're still getting kind of a heavy firearm. Now the trick, whether you get the Glock, whether you want to carry a revolver, 45, or even if you want to carry this big heavy tank, is get some of these. They're called Liberty Civil Defense 9mm. Okay, these are unbelievable rounds. And as you can see on the box, look at these things, 2,000 feet per second. Man, that's a hot round, baby. I mean, this baby is an extremely hot round. But as you can see, and I took one out, look at this. They're hollow all the way down. Look at that. So all the way down, they're hollow. It's like getting a hollow point. Now here's your average hollow point. This is a 38 special. Look at the hollow point with a copper jacketed bullet. And when you get the Civil Defense Liberty ammo, you get that thing completely reamed out all the way down, but it's unbelievable lightweight. So if you get a regular 9mm, which is this, there's your regular, say, and you look at the weight difference, it's unreal. Okay, so if I recommend on carrying, say, a Glock, and you put your 11 rounds in your Glock 48 with the Civil Defense ammo, you're going to get at least 40-50% less weight. Okay, and it's going to be easy to carry. You're going to feel like you're not carrying anything. And here's the magazine filled with the Liberty Defense ammo. Okay, so, or if you want to bring down some weight in your revolver, pick up some Liberty Defense 38 specials. They do sell practically any caliber in this. It's kind of hard to get right now. I don't know why, because a lot of people don't like it, but I'm telling you right now, it's great defense ammo, and the best thing about it's almost 50% less weight than carrying one of these, you know. So, I mean, you could even get the 45. The 45s are kind of expensive in the Liberty Defense, but I mean, you feel the weight of just one of those. You know what I'm saying? And a solid one. So even if you got a hollow point, like a jacketed hollow point 45, you're still getting that weight compared to if you get a 45 in one of the Liberty Defense. And it would cut the weight on this, because this thing weighs a lot right here, this one magazine, you know? I mean, it's amazing. Now, performance-wise, again, as your average citizen, chances of pulling one of these things out of your waistband, which one might get you in trouble if you don't do it, if you don't feel that your life is threatened, and it has to be 1000% or even more than that to even think about pulling this out of your waistband. You know, just because you got a license to carry doesn't mean you got a license to kill. So the thing is put these babies in there. You'll feel the difference on carrying. Get a polymer, a Glock, a SIG. Some SIG is their best. Right now, SIGs are hard to get. Glocks are hard to get with this pandemic and all these riots and craps. Protests are going on. But you will feel comfortable carrying this. And the performance-wise, this baby goes through 6 to 8 inches of gel. Okay? It's 2,000 feet per second. And it expands to 6 to 8 inches wide with the fragments. So technically, you know, if you have to have a defense round and somebody's coming after you, this will put them down. I'm telling you right now. Going through 6 to 8 inches of gel and having these fragments in you, you know, a lot of these fragments go into the body. It won't take much to put somebody down. And again, you have to get trained, well trained to do this. So, and I'm just talking as a defense, as, you know, for protection for yourself or your family. That's what I'm talking about. And if you go out and buy a firearm and you're not well trained, well, you shouldn't be owning a firearm. Okay? I'm for the Second Amendment. 110%. Absolutely I am. But I also feel that you have to get well trained. And you have to know your firearm. The last couple million or 1.5 million people that went out and bought firearms in the last month or two, most of those people have never owned a firearm in their life. So get trained. Get well trained. Shoot your firearm. Go to a range, you know, and pay to go to an indoor range. If you don't, go onto a farm or something and constantly practice. And, you know, learn how to carry the right way. Learn how to load and unload, and never, ever, ever point it at anybody unless you're going to point it to mean business. And again, to mean that business could get you in trouble, locked up for the rest of your life. So there you go. All right. Have fun with it. Be careful. Be safe. Talk to you soon.